We're pleased with the win. We should expect to get better, and I think we are getting better. I think we have some individuals getting better basketball. Most notably Paul Thomas, who his last 3 games has had 8 boards, 11 boards, 13 boards. And once again, he's learning that he can score if he rebounds. He's developed a nice little mid-range shot to go with a couple of post-ups that he had. Wasn't one of Matt's finer games. He got in a little foul trouble early. I think got really frustrated. And they were all on the offensive end, just post-up fouls and then a screen that they didn't like a screen that he said. Said he didn't move on it, but that he was too wide and that he should be shoulder width on the screen. And his shoulders are as big as my little finger, so that really limits the width that he can set a screen. But he's going to be a good player. I love what he's been in practice. He's been a little frustrated with the whistle in ball games, but that's okay. He's got to learn to play through it. He's got to learn to adjust. Our guards gave us a chance to extend the lead in the first half because they didn't turn it over. They played within themselves. They took quality shots, and that's when we mentioned 3 weeks ago that if we were going to get better, it was going to have to be on the defensive end. We were brutal in defensive transition. We were brutal staying between our guy and the basket. We were brutal on the defensive boards. Just had a lot of issues, post coverage, the whole thing. So we are getting better there. And now these guards just have to make solid, good plays. And I thought Omega did in the first half. I thought DA did in the first half. We got quality play from our bench. Bench guys are growing a little bit, which is to be expected this time of the year. So nice win for the Miners. Now we get to go on the road, and our next 5 games are going to really be tough. We've got at Western Kentucky, at Marshall. I think we come back home and play Middle Tennessee, who's undefeated. We play UAB, who's extremely talented, and we play Louisiana Tech. So, we gotta just keep practicing. We gotta, get rid of all the evil demons that were around us there for 11, 12 games. Maybe do like Phil Jackson, burn some incense, get them the hell out of the gym, and keep trying to grow. But real proud of our guys because teams either get better or they get worse, and we're obviously getting a little better. I want to thank our crowd. Worst day I can remember on a game day in El Paso in my 7 years in terms of the wind blowing and the weather, and it's cold. And I looked around, I didn't see my wife, and I thought maybe, she said it was too cold and windy to come, so that concerned me. I didn't have anybody there, but she ended up showing up, so as did a lot of Hardy fans tonight. But we're just going to keep moving along, moving it down the road, and see if we can keep growing.
First half seems like the first time in a while you go without Omega and Dominic on the floor at the same time, but you're able to extend the lead. Like you mentioned a couple weeks ago, that may have not have been the case.
Wouldn't have happened. We'd have turned it over. We would have taken 4 shots. We'd have opened up defensively and let them go by and lay it up. We wouldn't have gotten back. We couldn't have kept them out there. So they're getting better. And Trey's helping that. Trey's helping Dion, I think.
You mentioned you needed a good third scorer. Do you think Thomas is becoming that third scorer?
He kind of has, hasn't he? He's really helped us. And we know that there's the potential there for Matt to do that. He had the 22-point game against Western Michigan, followed it up with a good game against Mississippi State. Had a good game here a couple of weeks ago, 6 for 14 from the field. He just couldn't play through the fouls tonight, and so that will certainly help us. And I think Jake made a few tonight, didn't he? And that's it's nice to see. What was Jake from the floor? Jake made 3 threes, so he had 11 points, and that's what we had not had. And second half was really frustrating offensively though for us tonight. And I credit their guys. I just think their coach is doing a hell of a job. They got that group 4-1, and they go over and win at Louisiana Tech. They beat us. Give them credit.
We talked about Paul's points and rebounding production, but did you kind of challenge him to bring that physical presence? I saw him kind of get bowled up in the paint, then he goes back and blocks it, and he goes and grabs a rebound. Is that something that you
Coach Johnson just hammers him on that, just every day, just hammers him on the physical part of the game. And I think Paul's, with another summer of lifting and getting stronger and continuing to work on his skill development, which all of our guys do. And, You know, I think he's got a real chance one day to be a very, very, very fine player. He's making nice plays off the dribble. He's passing the ball for the most part off the dribble. He had a turnover tonight that we didn't necessarily like off the dribble, but he's playing hard, you know, and he's growing, which we had hoped for. Kelvin Jones had 9 boards tonight in 19 minutes. A couple of nice blocks. You can tell he's a developing big guy. You know, I've had those 4 kids that never played high school basketball. He's kind of in that category of still trying to grow and learn down there, when to, when not to, learning those instincts. But he's going to be a fine player at some point before he leaves here.
Yeah, this Western Kentucky Marshall Stone is probably the most brutal road trip just in terms of logistics
Yeah,
for any
absolutely.
Conference USA team, but got to feel better going with the 3-game losing streak instead of.
Well, you know, our athletic director was nice enough to allow us to charter. We had not chartered any flights that trip. And I called Bob after we lost our first 2 conference games on the road, and I said, Bob, we don't deserve a damn charter right now. We need to hitchhike, you know, from Bowling Green to Marshall, and let's save the money in the budget and figure it out down the road. And because we know we're going to have a quality team here a year from now, and we're going to get better and better. And we're not giving up on this team. We've won 3 in a row. You know, outside of Middle Tennessee, if they lose in the conference tournament, probably everybody's going to have to win the dadgum conference tournament. So let's just keep hanging in there with our group and keep working. Our kids have been great, and they're trying to get better, and I respect them for coming to practice every day and trying to grow.
Bad shooting by UTSA or great defense by the Miners?
You know, I'd like to give us a little credit, and I think that they can certainly shoot it better than they did tonight. Okay, probably a little bit of both, but we are getting better defensively in a lot of areas. Guarding the dribble, rebounding the defensive board, our defensive transition, all those things have been real problems for the Miners. You know, the early part of the season, they're getting better. All right, thank you.